Hello und gut getroffen. JD Grauspitz here, lead singer and streaming talent of Malignant Bear, coming at you with something a little different today. Today is Read Across America Day in the United States, and we thought we would commemorate that with a short little fun video. We're going to read a classic German fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. For those who don't know, these are the most famous fairy tales. Obviously, they were the inspiration for quite a few children's movies and things like that, but obviously changed around a little bit. The original German versions are significantly different than most of the ones that you're familiar with. So, with that in mind, today I will be reading The Willow-wren and the Bear from the Brothers Grimm. This is a very short one, and I picked it, of course, because it has bear in the title. Unfortunately, it does not paint the bear in a favorable light, nor does a good thing happen to them, but we're still going to go for it. So, here is The Willow-wren and the Bear with some soothing background lounge music. Once in summertime, the bear and the wolf were walking in the forest, and the bear heard a bird singing so beautifully that he said, "Brother Wolf, what is it, or what bird is it that sings so well?" "That is the king of birds," said the wolf, "before whom we must bow down." In reality, the bird was the willow-wren. "If that's the case," said the bear, "I should very much like to see his royal palace. Come, take me hither." "That is not done quite as you seem to think," said the wolf. "You must wait until the queen comes." Soon afterwards, the queen arrived with some food in her beak, and the Lord King came too, and they began to feed their young ones. The bear would have liked to go at once, but the wolf held him back by the sleeve and said, "No, you must wait until the Lord and Lady Queen have gone away again." So they took stock of the hole where the nest lay and trotted away. The bear, however, could not rest until he had seen the royal palace, and when a short time had passed, went to it again. The king and queen had just flown out, so he peeped in and saw 5 or 6 young ones laying there. "Is that the royal palace?" cried the bear. "It is a wretched palace, and you are not king's children. You are disreputable children." When the young wrens heard that, they were frightfully angry, and screamed, "No, we are not! Our parents are honest people, bear! You will have to pay for that!" The bear and the wolf grew uneasy, and turned back and went into their holes. The young willow-wrens, however, continued to cry and scream, and when their parents again brought food, they said, "We will not so much as touch one fly's leg, no, not if we were dying of hunger, until you have settled whether we are respectable children or not. The bear has been here and has insulted us." Then the old king said, "Be easy, he shall be punished." And he at once flew with the queen to the bear's cave, and called in, "Old Growler, why have you insulted my children? You shall suffer for it. We will punish you with a bloody war." Thus war was announced to the bear, and all 4-footed animals were summoned to take part in it. Oxes, asses, cows, deer, and every other animal the earth contained. And the willow-wren summoned everything which flew in the air, not only birds large and small, but midges and hornets, bees and flies had to come. When the time for the war to begin, the willow-wren sent out spies to discover who was the enemy's commander-in-chief. The gnat, who was the most crafty, flew into the forest where the enemy was assembled and hid herself beneath the leaf of the tree where the password was to be announced. There stood the bear, and he called to the fox before him and said, "Fox, you are the most cunning of all animals. You shall be general and lead us." "Good," said the fox, "but what signal shall we agree upon?" No one knew that, so the fox said, "I have a long, bushy tail, which almost looks like a plume of red feathers. When I lift my tail up quite high, all is going well and you must charge. But if I let it down, run away as fast as you can." When the gnat heard that, she flew away again and revealed everything, down to the most minute detail, to the willow-wren. When day broke and the battle was to begin, all 4-footed animals came running up with such a noise that the earth trembled. The willow-wren and his army also came flying through the air with such a humming and whirring and swarming that everyone was uneasy and afraid, and on both sides they advanced against each other. But the willow-wren sent down the hornet, with orders to settle beneath the fox's tail and sting with all his might. When the fox felt the first sting, he started so that on one leg from pain, but he bore it, and still kept his tail high in the air. At the second sting, he was forced to put it down for a moment. At the third, he could hold out no longer, screamed, and put his tail between his legs. When the animals saw that, they thought all was lost and began to flee, each into his hole, and the birds had won the battle. Then the king and queen flew home to their children and cried, "Children, rejoice! Eat and drink to your heart's content. We have won the battle." But the young wrens said, "We will not eat. The bear must come to the nest and beg for pardon and say that we are honorable children before we will do that." Then the king Willow-wren flew to the bear's hole and cried, "Growler, you are to come to my nest to my children and beg their pardon, or else every rib of your body shall be broken." And so the bear crept hither in the greatest fear and begged their pardon. And now at last the young wrens were satisfied, and sat down together and ate and drank, and made merry till late into the night. The end. So that was The Willow-wren and the Bear, courtesy of the Brothers Grimm. Of course, all of their very old stories are in the public domain now. I just happened to pick one of the shorter ones. I will provide a link to a list of all of them in the video description. Hope you enjoyed this kind of silly content, and keep tuning in and have a good one.